water bottle like this, picks it up, drinks it, says, "F this, I want to die," drops it, then picks up the glass bottle again. And then immediately I knew that this was a suicide by cop, and this guy was going to do any means necessary, include stab one of us, to be able to have one of us shoot him.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
So I was like, all right, here we go. Like, it's like 2 o'clock. I'm like, all right, here we go. Here comes the waterfall of all the bullshit today. So I flip a Yui, and I throw on the lights, and I start going down. And as I start going down, the call comes over dispatch for an erratic male in the middle of the road. I called out. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm en route there right now. The call is going to be in Atlantic City. So Atlantic City and Ventnor, they meet up, right? They're bordering towns. So West End and Wellington Avenue meet up, and it is a horizontal road. It's a 2-lane highway, which you know probably very well.
I know where it is.
Yep. So I get there, and I see the postal truck driver, and I don't see him directly. I don't see him immediately. I call out with it, and I told my dispatch, I'm like, call Atlantic City. This is their bag of shit right now. Have them start coming this way.
You're always willing to push it over the border.
Listen, you guys are both cops. That's exactly how it works. So
shoveling the shit.
It's on your side of the road, so you
there
take.
could be a dead body laying there, and I'm like, and you're nudging it over there.
Before Atlantic City gets here, you kick the foot over the line.
You ain't kidding, man. That's exactly how it happened. And every cop listening to this, you're laughing because you know that's exactly how that works.
So a quick story about that one. Quick little sidebar. We had one of our towns who were notoriously lazy. Who my father-in-law worked there.
Right.
So anyway, we have one intersection where there's 3 towns meet in one little place. So car goes off the road, the woman's plastered drunk.
Right.
And one of their cops shows up and, "Nah, it's yours." And I'm like, "No, it's yours." And, "No, it's yours. It's definitely yours." I'm like, "Dickhead, look under her car." She ran over the sign that said, "Welcome to," I won't say the town.
Yeah, but that's exactly how that happens. We're just trying to push it off. So I get there, I see the postal truck driver, and I go up and I speak with him. And as I'm speaking with him, I can see out of my peripheral, like my eye, I'm like, all right, I see a male. He's walking along the roadway there. So the postal truck driver's like, dude, I don't know what's going on. If this guy's trying to steal my truck, he just jumped in there. He's bleeding from the neck. I don't know what's going on. He says he's trying to get hit by a car or he wants to steal my car. I'm not sure. I was like, all right, man, not a problem. Close the door, lock it. I'll be right back. So I start walking up to him, and this was, during the time where we had to wear the masks, right? So as I'm walking up, I was like, I'm not wearing this. It's hot. This is not happening right now. It's August. I'm sweating enough, and I don't need to be wearing this. So I put it back in my pocket, and I started walking up to him, and I was like, hey, man, what can I do, man? Like, how can I help you? Just, why don't you take a seat for me? And I start just giving him just normal commands, like, just take a seat. How can I help you? Like, what's going on? Are you hurt? And he turns to me, and when he turns to me, I can see he has a laceration from, like, where his left earlobe is all the way down to the front of his neck. He sliced his jugular. So I call it out immediately. I was like, start me an ambo because he's bleeding from the neck. And as he does that, he then turns towards me, and I see that there's a broken glass bottle in his hand. And I don't know if you guys are drinkers or anything like that, but those big Jack Daniel bottles, like they're almost like gag gifts kind of thing. That's what it was. It was that big, thick, sharded glass.
Yeah, the thick glass bottles.
Right. And he had the base of it, the neck of it, and he broke it. So it was maybe about 4.5 inches, and that's what was sticking out of his hand. Turns to me, and he looks at me, and he's like, fuck you. He starts walking towards me, and I'm like, just drop the bottle.
When he started yelling at you, fuck you, there are some people in this world that can take that and just sort of maintain calm and everything. I always had a problem, although I actually had to consciously, every time, just keep in my head.
Kind of like decompress.
Yeah, because somebody screaming in your face, fuck you, you're like, fuck me, fuck you.
It rattles you.
Especially when you're there to help them.
Yeah.
And you're saying, fuck you.
You got to be a very select individual, and that's what a lot of police officers are, to be able to take that.
But if you're thinking back and in your mind, at what point did this become something more of an EDP, which is an emotionally disturbed person? Because obviously, there's something wrong with the guy. Either he's on something, he's drunk, whatever it is, something's going on with him, where it started to become an aggressive situation.
Well, so as that progressed, I had one of my class 2s come up, and as we talked about the special role before, they're not covering the like PBA. They're just something happens. It's just not gonna end up good for them. So I had him block traffic. I continue to keep giving him commands. My partners start coming up. And kind of like how you said, like, when does this become an EDP, is we continue to keep giving him the commands to drop the bottle. And he just keeps telling us, fuck you, you got to shoot me. I want to fucking die. And when those words start flying out of his mouth, I'm like, this is definitely going to be a suicide cop
Suicide by cop, yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm hurting, fuck you, shoot me, kill me, the whole gamut. He gets to a point where he's like, okay, all I want is a bottle of water. So me and my partner are like, okay, here we go. Like, we're able to, this is our rapport. This is our in right now. If we can get this in, we're good. We get him the bottle of water. We throw it to him. He then drops the bottle, hit the glass bottle, picks up the water bottle like this, picks it up, drinks it, says, fuck this, I want to die, drops it, then picks up the glass bottle again. And then immediately I knew that this was a suicide by cop, and this guy was going to do any means necessary, include stab one of us, to be able to have one of us shoot him. So we go through that for right around about 10 minutes of just constantly telling him to drop the bottle. There's a guy on YouTube that I was telling you guys about. He counted it 228 times. I personally told him to drop the bottle.
You know, I watched the video and I was going to start trying to count.
Right.
Just
228 times. Yep. So,
you know, at the end here, we'll play a little clip of it just so everybody understands. But if I were to play the whole clip, it would just be you telling him,
drop the bottle.
Drop the bottle. We're going to get you help.
12 and a half minutes.
We'll get you. Drop the bottle. We're going to get you. We're going to get you help.
Mm-hmm.
And you did everything right. Like you weren't aggressive with him. You didn't escalate the situation.
Right.
You called for backup. You called for an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hit all the markers, and that's really important. Because it's a stressful situation. It's
right.
a high stress situation. You know, shit at any moment it's going to go sideways.
Yeah.
Now you keep giving him demands. Did he show any signs of lucidity?
Absolutely not. He just kept coming and coming and coming, and it was to the point where, we get behind one of the vehicles, and I turn him to my partner. He's maybe about 2-3 yards away from me, and I tell him, I was like, Jimmy, listen, if we got to take this shot, we got to move him to the left, because West End and Wellington Ave, like I said, it's a horizontal 2-lane road, so we have traffic blocked off at both ends. So we can't take this shot going horizontally. If one of us misses, that round's going to continue downrange.
The round doesn't stop
right,
after the target.
100%.
Yeah.
So a 9mm travels anywhere like close to about 1,200 feet per second. So if one of us miss, God forbid, that round's going to continue downrange. We have both traffic blocked in both directions. You have cops on either side. So we need to be accurate if we got to take this shot. And that's where my SWAT training came in, 100%. So I tell my partner we got to move him towards the backstop to use the bay as a backstop. Unfortunately, we don't get to that position. He keeps pushing us to not be able to do that. Atlantic City does show up finally, and they have taser. I'm sure you guys saw it. They go to deploy the taser. Taser doesn't work. If you guys know tasers, you know that if they're charged, they will have like that 0-0 that come up. You watch that video, nothing happens. I don't know if it's a responsibility issue on them to not charge tasers. That's above my pay grade. But regardless, taser does not go off. He sees this, and you hear it in the video. He's like, I can eat a taser. I can eat a fucking taser. Here we go. So at that point, I'm in front of one of the vehicles.
Was there any other... Did anybody pull out OC spray or anything?
No. We couldn't get that close to him because if he kept charging towards us and we kept creating distance. Like, you guys are both cops, you know, like the 30-foot rule, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you need to be able to unholster and, create distance as a subject's approaching you. They can clear that gap in 30 feet faster than most officers can unholster and put effective rounds down.
Back in the academy, we were told 21 feet.
Right.
So it's
21, 30,
thing, yeah.
Whatever case may be. Right.
I think now it's actually.
I think it's shorter than that.
It was 20. No, it was 21, but I think now they said it was 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's around that.
Yeah.
That foot rule. So we are creating distance. We can't get close to him. He keeps telling us, he's like, I'm gonna fucking stab you. I'm gonna stab you. And he's looking at me because I'm the first one on the scene. I was the first one to make contact with him. So he continues to keep looking at me. So when they go to deploy the taser, it doesn't work. He lets out this blood-curdling scream and starts running at me and my partner. And so my partner's on the left of me. I shoot lefty. My partner shoots righty. So I move my partner to the right of me, and he starts running at us. And as he starts running at us, we're backpedaling. There's like a spool wire. They were just doing like the power lines. So spool wire, we got to kind of trample ourselves over. We got to high step that over. And he's coming at us, running at us. backpedaling. And as we're backpedaling, creating distance, a civilian opens the door.
I saw that.
I saw that in the video.
They open the door and he gets out. So we go for about what's the length of like a shoulder? 5 feet, 5.5 feet, whatever it is, 6 feet,
depending on where it is.
Yeah. So he opens the door, so that cuts that in half. So now, as he's chasing towards us with a broken bottle, telling us he's going to stab us, we're backpedaling, and now we have a civilian who then cuts that 5.5, 6 foot gap in half. Now we need to make sure our rounds are accurate.
So I want everybody to think about for a moment all these things that you have to deal with.
Going through your mind all in a split second.
And on top of, like, if you watch it, there is officers in the background, and I'm screaming at them to get out of that view, And you
crossfire situation.
Right. You can actually watch them trickle from behind him, because if one of us missed these rounds, like we just talked about, that round's going to continue and travel.
So you have to. So your primary concern is yourself, obviously. Then I don't. You want to go home to your family.
Right.
All right. So you got to watch out for your safety. Then you got this EDP over here that needs some help, some serious help. But now there's a dangerous situation, so you have to look out for your safety and the officer's safety around. And then if there is a shot that has to be taken, you have to try to get an angle so it doesn't hit another car or another officer. And all this while making sure that you're in communication with dispatch and you're in communication with the officers and making sure your angles are right. Is it going to be a justified shoot in this? And so when stuff goes wrong in shootings and you got to sit in front of a grand jury, this is all the stuff that comes out. And you'll get some stupid questions, too, like, why don't you shoot him in the leg? Why don't you shoot him in the arm?
Because the grand jury has months to deliberate over something that took
you have a
split second.
Split second to make a decision that you have so many lives that you are responsible for at that time.
And we also and here's the biggest responsibility. That bullet leaves that gun, it's on you.
100%. Yep. You are liable for every round that comes out of that chamber.
Correct.
And that's a lot of cops that are listening to this know that, but there are some that don't understand that. No matter what, if that round travels through that person and hits somebody else, like a 3-year-old in the back of the head, you need to know your backstop and beyond. Right? It's big SWAT thing.
You go to the range, you shoot the paper targets, and there's a big sand hill behind it. Your bullet stops right there. Out on the street, your bullet don't stop.
Exactly, and that's why cops carry hollow points.
You're dating yourself, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh, there's still big berms in the back.
No, there's up here. There are no more. The last.
What are they all indoors?
The last outdoor range was the one that I qualified at in Caldwell. By the old jail.
You guys are rich up here.
No, it's just there's no room left.
Oh, that's true, too.
There's no room left for that stuff.
I haven't qualified in over 7 years. So.
Yeah. When I
changed a little bit.
First qualified, and it didn't matter. So it's nice now indoor ranges because now you qualify under controlled conditions. Before, if it was raining, you wore a poncho. That's what it
that's what was on the team. We had to.
What was it? Every 6 months. So it was in the winter, in the summer.
Yep.
Right.
And we also used to have to start at the 75 in a prone.
Okay.
Yeah.
With your rifle?
No.
With your handgun?
With your hand, or was it 50?
Just to see.
Was it 75 or 50?
I would think it'd be 50.
That was 50.
It was 50. Yeah, we used to do 50 in a prone.
And just to see if you were able to.
No, they
would score that.
They would score it.
Damn.
They would score it. Yeah, it was no joke.
Wow.
Not to say that, but I'm not taking a 50-yard shot.
You should not. If an officer takes, and like you guys both have cops, you know that. But if an officer takes a shot from 25 yards. You better be on point.
Well, the other thing is, too,
your max.
You qualify with your off-duty weapon.
Yeah.
Right?
Try doing that with a snub-nosed 38.
Yep.
You qualify with your off-duty weapon from 25 yards. You do the regular, PQC qualifying course.
Yeah.
If you're off-duty and you shoot someone from 25 yards away, you might as well throw your gun at them. You ain't never seeing that gun again.
Ever. It's gone.
Off-duty training should be like from 10 yards and in.
Yeah, well, that's what what is it? I think that's like 87% of officer-involved shootings are from 7 yards or in or something like that. Because we're always in close quarters with these individuals.
CQBs.
Yeah.
So at what point did this become the shots inevitable?
Yeah. So when he starts running us, the civilian opens the door. I start screaming at the guys behind to get out of the view. Instinctively, me and my partner we planted our foot and we pressed off the rounds. It was probably almost like close to being simultaneously. Like I pressed mine off and I heard his right behind me, and he's a righty and I'm a lefty, so he just blew out my ear because he was literally that close to me. So the shots come out, 6 shots come out, all of them land.
You just shot 6 times, or
no,
collectively?
So collectively 6 shots come out. I fire 4 of them. He drops. As he drops, he still has the bottle in his hand. So if you watch the video, we're still giving commands, drop the bottle. He does take a deep breath, gasp, opens his hand. And that's when I know, okay, he's out of this. And I say it on camera. I'm like, he's out of it. I tell my dispatch, shots fired, start an ambulance, the whole 9 yards. We get to him, we glove up, and we start, we got to cuff him, right? So we cuff him, and I don't know at the time that he slit his wrist. But so whatever, we cuff him up, we turn him over, and we're doing anything that we can to be able to save his life at that point.
Render first aid.
Right. We get all the trauma kits out. We're plugging holes. We're doing all this. The body camera shuts off at that point. And it shuts off because that's the AG's rendition of it cuts off right there. So we're doing everything that we can to be able to keep him alive. He's kind of going in and out. We're trying to put water in him, all this.
Is he talking to you?
Barely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. Like, I can see where the rounds hit. We shot him from maybe about four yards away.
Yeah. You did it until the threat stopped.
Right. So I can see the holes in his shirt. I can see the cavity in his back. I go to put my hand on his back. He's kind of sitting up, and I can feel my hand go into his back. So I know it's not going to be good. We're calling for the ambulance. The ambulance can't get there because we blocked off the roads. So collectively, me and my partners, we all looked at each other, and without even saying anything, we picked him up and we ran him 40 yards to the stretcher. We get him on the stretcher, and it was funny because it's not funny, but there was a video that came out of us running him, and they were like, "Look at these cops! They're just running him to get him out of the camera angle because they don't want to see what we did to him." What we were doing was trying to save his life by running him 40 yards, a 200-pound man running him 40 yards to a stretcher to get the medical care that he needed. So we get him on the stretcher. The medic looks at me, and she's like, "What happened?" And my initial instinct was like, "Are you fucking serious right now? Like, were you just here? Did you just watch this whole entire thing?" She's like, "I can't work on him. He's cuffed." So I was like, "Okay, fine." We flip him over, and that's when I saw that he slit his wrist. And when we cuffed him, the ratcheting part of the cuff went into his wrist, and we got to uncuff him. So as I'm trying to get the cuff key in there, all of his flesh and blood is coagulated inside the cuff key, so I can't get it out. So I'm now peeling the cuff out of his wrist because it went underneath his skin. I was able to finally get it off, threw it to the side. They took him off to the ambulance. They took him off in the ambulance to ACMC, and that was the last I saw of him.
So when did he die?
He died on the way.
He died on the way there.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, and again, this is going to be another one of those episodes where we're going to catch a lot of crap.
You know what? You're going to do this again, aren't you?
I have to because what happens next and your troubles that happen next pertain to a lot with your incident. And it's something that is heart-wrenching. Taking somebody's life is heart-wrenching enough.
Yeah.
What you went through is stressful, and it just adds on top of already a bad situation. What I also want to do is I want to play a short clip of this incident as much as we think we can play, so everybody gets an idea of how much Mike really did try to de-escalate this situation, because I have seen it. It's public knowledge. I'm not sure.
I've watched it a couple times.
It's hard to watch.
It's
very hard to watch because here's a guy.
You know what? As you're on it, have you watched it a couple times since?
I actually trained myself to watch it a lot.
Is it hard? Is it hard to watch for you?
No, it's not. It was in the beginning, but I knew this is something that I needed to do in my life, and this is something I needed to conquer. So I made sure as soon as it came out, I watched it.
Because like I said, talking to Kevin a lot about both of our incidents, Kevin had a real hard time going back to his scene.
That took me a while.
He had a real hard time going back to his scene.
It took me almost 10 years.
Took me about almost 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yeah. See, I go past my scene all the time.
I think it's unavoidable.
It's right up the street from my house.
I've been past your scene. It's unavoidable. Otherwise, you can't get it home. So we're gonna end this portion of this here. I want to bring you back next week so we can complete this.
I mean, if you really care about coming back up to North Jersey next week.
Traffic's a little bit bad, but I'll take care. I don't have to worry about that.
That's going to do it for part 1 of the suffering of officer-involved shooting. Don't forget to follow us on all social media, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Clapper. Follow Mike at Mike_Failce. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. And, of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. Don't forget, you can always watch before you, or you can always listen before you watch. All of our audio episodes come out on Sunday. And
tell them to comment, please.
Please comment, because we do read everyone. And don't forget, go to popple.com for a digital business card. Put in TSP20 for a 20% discount. And while we're signing off, I want you to watch what Mike went through with this small little clip we have for you. We'll see you on the next episode.
Behind me, grab this one. Yo, we don't want to do this, man. Stop. 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 Stop with the bottle. Stop. Stop the bottle. Drop it. Drop the bottle. Drop it. District 1, shots fired. District 1, shots fired. Stay in the car. Drop the bottle. He's done. He's got the bottle in his hands. Drop the bottle. Drop it. Drop the bottle. We can help you. Drop it. Drop the bottle. Drop the bottle. Open your hand. Open your hand. Open the hand. All right. He's out. He's out of these. He's out.